Alright guys, here are 5 lifting myths. Let's get into it. So number one, you need to do cardio to lose weight. Alright, so let me tell you my story to get an idea on why this is a myth. So growing up, I've always been the fat kid and I've absolutely hated it. Like, dude, it was just horrible. And then when I was in middle school, my older cousin, he told me about this channel called Self. And if you don't know, Self is like this kind of like lifestyle, health and wellness channel where it has videos on like cardio workouts and like makeup tutorials, and it's included like some celebrities here and there. But basically, what I did with Self is there were these two hit cardio workouts, and I just did them like every day. And I would alternate between two of the videos. Like one day I would do this video, the second day I would do that video. And I did that for like 2 to 3 months, and shockingly, I did not lose weight. And there was like literally little to no change in my physique. And I knew I should not have quit, but because I wasn't seeing progress, I honestly just quit. I just quit doing it because there was no progress, and I didn't even exercise until 2023, a year later, when I still did this. I just did this cardio workout I made up where I did high knees, which are horrible by the way, body weight squats, and like a plank. And dude, I knew that wasn't even gonna help me lose weight, but looking back, it was good. Some movement is better than no movement. And I stopped doing that, and a few months later, my dad got me these 2 pairs of light blue dumbbells, and I started lifting weights. I'll get into more how I started lifting in another video, don't worry. But all you really need to know is I started lifting weights, I started doing that type of exercise, and when I looked in the mirror, like within, what, 2 weeks of lifting, dude, my belly fat just dropped so quickly, easily. Now look, granted, whenever you start a weight loss journey, you'll lose weight within like very quickly in the beginning. But at the same time, like lifting had a significant difference because it felt like I could just lose weight and still have the same diet, but all I had to have to do is just lift. It was weird. I was like surprised. I was like, whoa, what? And there's actually a reason to this because when you lift weights, you build muscle, and with that muscle, it increases your metabolism. So your body's burn more calories because of the added muscle, which means you can literally lose weight just by lifting weights. And keep in mind, when it came to my diet, I didn't really make that many changes. I wasn't in like a super serious calorie deficit, which is what you need to do to lose weight in the beginning of my lifting journey. Like I only had like protein. I just added protein shakes, protein bars, and like some chicken breast. But I was still losing weight anyway. And I've been continuing to lose weight for like a couple years, and I'm very, very close to like achieving my dream physique. And that's thanks to lifting weights. Like, yeah, I did cardio on the side, I did biking, but it was mostly just lifting weights because there would be weeks where I would just do zero cardio, and all I would do is lift weights and just build a muscle, and that just increased my metabolism and made me lose weight easier. Like it would go as far as to me just losing a pound a day. A day. That's how you're supposed to lose a pound a week when you're on a calorie deficit. But I was able to lose it a day without starving myself. And you don't have to take it from me. You can take it from this guy named Random Fitness who knows the same principles.
So I was a chubby kid, which caused me issues like high blood pressure, hypertension, and body dysmorphia. I absolutely hated my body. I was occasionally ridiculed by my parents, and my doctors made it clear that I would need to lose weight or my health would suffer severe consequences. So I kickstarted my weight loss journey with a bunch of cardio and eating less and less. I lost a decent bit of weight, but this story was years ago. Fast forwarding to today, I can literally eat so much food without gaining weight. I have to shovel down Gorlock the Destroyer's worth of food just to even see the scale go up. Imagine going from gaining weight by breathing to losing weight by eating what you are now a year later. How the hell did I do it? Well, it wasn't cardio, and it wasn't eating less and less. I just focused on building muscle, not even caring if I gained fat in the process. Muscle is active tissue, meaning it burns a baseline amount of calories even when you're not using it. Your body has to constantly spend resources to keep muscle, which actually raises your metabolism. That's why bodybuilders have to eat so much food.
Well, yeah, you heard it from a fitness influencer. It literally lifting weights is a good chunk of what you need to do to lose weight. And it's better compared to just running to lose weight because running is hard on your joints and you can't do it every day to to burn calories. And you'll actually feel more hungry after like an intense session of running, which could lead you to overeating. Look, I'm not saying you should just do zero cardio because you should still do cardio for the endurance benefits. And there is one type of cardio that can actually help with losing weight, and that's walking. So I would recommend to just walk 10,000 steps every single day, which is like an hour, 2 hours of walking. But if that sounds too difficult, lower it down to 5,000. And then when that becomes easy, increase it to 7,000. When that becomes easy, increase it to 9,500. And when that becomes easy, I'm sure you get the point there. But yeah, cardio isn't a bad thing. It can level up your endurance, but I wouldn't look at it from like a weight loss perspective. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit first of all. And I would recommend lifting weights and eating protein, but I'll get into some more of that later. And now number two, lifting weights makes you too big. And I know a lot of women especially think this way because they see like these bodybuilders, these jack dudes on social media that are super muscular and think that they lifted weights so they got big and jacked. Well, I mean, they're not technically wrong, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. It's because they blasted steroids, and social media loves to show the top 0.1% of physiques, most of which aren't even natural, dude. Like, people don't realize that building muscle is so much slower than they think. It literally takes 6 months to a year to see significant progress. And I'll show you a couple transformations to as proof.
I remember when I took this video, I thought, a year from now, I'm going to be so different.
It's 100 niggas in the spot. I won't keep going.
Thinking I was big. 30 pounds later.
So yeah, I hope that gives you an idea on how big you actually get realistically. And not to mention, there's this thing called myostatin where it prevents your muscles from getting too big anyway. And the only way you could really get too big, like if you just go on a whole mukbang session.
Yeah, Jabba the Gut. Orland, stop! But you stop gaining weight.
Like basically where if you go 1,000 calories over your maintenance, yeah, you're gonna get too big. It's all about how much food you shove in your mouth. But I won't lie, there is a little bit of truth in this myth. Like you're not gonna get too big, but if all you do is lifting, if just lift like over the long run, you're gonna get tight and experience stiffness. I won't lie to you. And there's actually someone who's admitted to this, who was a guy named Nsima Yang, who was a bodybuilder for like basically 20 years.
In my early 20s, I became a professional natural bodybuilder. Yeah, no steroids, no performance enhancers, but hey, feel free to drop a comment. Natty or not. Even though I carried a lot of muscle, I was stiff, rigid, and inflexible. People thought I looked great, but I knew I moved like the Tin Man. Sure, I could lift heavy weights, but also found myself bracing myself just to tie my shoes. My joints hurt, jump roping hurt my knees. Running? Completely out of the question. And that's when it hit me. What's the point of looking like an athlete if you can't move like one?
And you might think that that's a counter argument to my point, but to be honest, you can literally use that logic on any other aspect of fitness. Like, if you only do cardio, especially if you lose too much weight, it can aid you in lower testosterone. Only doing calisthenics gets you to be at a low body weight, which seems nice, but then it means you won't be able to maximize the muscle growth unless you start adding weight. And only doing stretching means you won't be that strong. And I know there's this guy who's been popping off, and who's the Stay Flexy guy, or otherwise known as Movement by David. I know someone might show a video of him where he talks about how he's skinny but strong. But the reason he's able to be strong is because he does intense calisthenics exercises. He doesn't just do stretching. But if I'm being honest with you, like the tightness and the rigidness can honestly be solved by just doing some daily stretching every single day. If you want, I could actually give you a link in the description below of like a playlist of stretching. Actually, yeah, I'll just link it anyway. And you can just pick like one stretch and do that every single day. And it will help prevent you from being tight. Like that could be solved very easily. And funny enough, it actually does come from the same guy whose video I just showed. But the point is, like, people exaggerate how big they can truly get through lifting weights. Like, building muscle is not just like, oh, I do bicep curls and I get big bicep. I'm not trying to flex to brag, I'm just example. But it takes time. Like the bicep, I didn't just do one set of curls and I instantly got this. I did session after session of curls, trained hard, got my sleep, nutrition dialed in, and that's how I got the bicep. And honestly, bro, lifting weights has so many benefits that you can't really get from anywhere else besides like calisthenics. And because of the I don't want to get big mindset, people are missing out on something that could honestly benefit their lives so much. And number three, this one might piss off some fitness influencers. Building muscle being 80% diet and 20% lifting weights. And honestly, bro, this should honestly be changed to 60% diet and 40% lifting weights, if not 50-50. Like think about it this way. If you have a dialed in diet, okay, it's healthy, it has whole foods, zero junk food. Zero. But you do no lift, but you don't lift. Do you seriously think you're gonna get jacked just from your diet alone? No. Because we all know that if you want to build muscle, you have to lift weights. So let me ask you, how can lifting weights contribute to 20% of the equation when without it, you can't even build muscle to begin with? It just makes no sense. At that point, you just say it's 50-50. You can't say it's 20% because it is not 20%. You can't just slack off on training, but mostly focus on your diet and expect to grow. You need to dial in everything. So that's why I would like to say it's 50-50. And look, I understand why this saying keeps being thrown around because what a lot of people do when they start lifting is they overemphasize their training but slack on their diet. So I think the saying started being thrown around just so that like people can remember to prioritize diet. Because lifting weights is the easiest part. Diet and sleep is where it gets tricky for a lot of people. But still misleading because it undermines how important lifting is. Because it's very important. I'm sure I pissed off a lot of fitness influencers right now, but I don't care. This needs to be said. And number four, carbs make you fat. And carbs get pretty villainized because, you know, it's always like if you want to lose weight, cut out the carbs. And I'll show a video by like this guy who talks about how bad carbs can be.
You believe that a very healthy breakfast is a bowl of oatmeal with banana sliced up and a glass of organic fresh squeezed orange juice and then a couple of pieces of whole grain ancient wheat bread. If you believe that's a healthy diet, you just spiked your blood sugar and spiked your insulin. And it's going to stay high for an hour or two. If your insulin levels are chronically high, you will store fat. Insulin does hundreds of things in the human body, probably several that we haven't even discovered yet. But one of its main jobs is it is a fat storage hormone. If it's too high, you're going to store more fat than you want to store. That's just the fact of the matter.
And dude's legit, man. He has like 3 million subs and is supposedly a medical doctor. And okay, there is technically some truth in this. But here's where it gets misleading. Like, yeah, I'm sure what he said was true. It can spike your insulin and store fat. But the thing is, this is where people think to themselves, if I cut carbs, that means I'll lose weight. When that's not really how it works. Like, you can go low carb, you can go keto, where you just don't eat carbs at all. But if you're not in calorie deficit, which I mentioned earlier, cutting carbs is not going to do anything for you. Like, yeah, obviously, you don't want to be on the extreme end of eating too much carbs because what happens is that you won't feel satiated and you'll be able to accidentally eat more than you should just to feel more full because carbs aren't that satiating. But you don't have to cut it out. You can, like, what I would recommend is if you like carbs, eat carbs, but just focus on getting high protein. Because protein is what a lot of people don't talk about is that it satiates you. It keeps you more full and makes you have less cravings. And obviously, we all know this, it helps build and maintain muscle. And your body actually has to burn a lot of calories to actually digest protein. So if your body burns calories digesting protein while you're building muscle, dude, that's literally a cheat code to losing weight. If that's not a cheat code to losing weight, I don't know what is. Because I've done it, a lot of people have done it, and it works. Now look, when you start becoming active and when you start like lifting, taking lifting seriously, you're lifting like 3 to 5 times a week, and you're actually implementing some cardio, whether that be low intensity, long duration, high intensity, lower duration. That's when you could start to eat a little bit more carbs. Because what carbs can do, your body can use carbs as energy for a workout or a cardio session. And so when you start to become more active, you're going to need more carbs in your system. So when you become super active, you shouldn't avoid carbs altogether. But for now, just you can still eat it, just lower it by like 20 to 50 grams, and just focus on getting high protein in. Then when you start becoming super active, then you can start increasing your carbs. But don't go crazy. Just increase it by a little bit. And number 5, you need to drink protein shakes and or mass gainers to grow. They're not as necessary as people make them to be, bro. Like drinking 5 protein shakes while everything else in your diet is crap is not gonna help you build muscle. Even if you're the guy who struggles to put on weight, you don't even really need protein shakes and mass gainers because first of all, they all have processed ingredients that can mess up your gut and cause an acne breakout. And even if you don't care about ingredients for whatever reason, and you're just a macros guy, if you just eat animal-based foods and real whole foods, protein won't be that difficult to get. You can still drink 1 to 2 protein shakes if you really need them, but they're only supplements at the end of the day. What really matters is if you dial in your training, sleep, and diet. Like stay away from the mass gainer stuff. Like that stuff is actually pretty bad for you.
Shakes are the king for bulking up, as long as it's the right kind. If you get these mass gainer shakes you find in a supplement store, those are gonna ruin your progress. All it is a bunch of sugar and empty calories that's awful for your body.
And when it comes to supplements, when it comes to, getting bigger and stronger, please, like when you dial in everything that I just mentioned, please look into taking creatine, bro. I took it for like 3 weeks and I actually noticed some changes. And creatine is one of the most researched supplements ever. Like, there's no risk to it. Like, it's perfectly safe for most people. Like, unless you've had kidney issues in the past or anything like that, creatine is 100% safe and you can 100% use it to maximize muscle growth. But unfortunately, my parents banned it, so that's why I'm not taking creatine right now. But if your parents won't ban it for you, then get it, bro. I 100% recommend you get it. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you got some value out of this. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you learned something new, and comment down below your thoughts on the video and what videos you want me to make. I'm open to any ideas. I read all my comments. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna head out. I'm just gonna.
Ain't nobody else, girl. Okay, I'm wondering what my life will be without you. Scared to try it, but I think I got to. I think I should listen to myself. Bedroom corner gun is on the shelf.